What's going on, guys? How y'all doing late this Friday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live for my live review of tonight's episode of Smackdown, the go-home show for Smackdown for WWE's Clash at the Castle 2022. That was, of course, pre-taped last week after last week's episode. So for the second week in a row, this episode as well took place in Detroit, Michigan. Not much really happened on this show. It wasn't a horrible show. There was some small things that I liked that helped me push this forward to being like decent rather than average. I'm not saying it was horrible. It wasn't the most exciting standout episode we've seen in the Triple H series. But again, it was not a waste of time either. It was solid. It planted some seeds, but it wasn't like the most, oh my gosh, must see SmackDown and we've seen the past month or so. It was solid. I mean, it was decent. It was just it was what it was. And it wasn't a complete waste of time. But of course, it is late at night, and it is Friday night. So if I had to work tomorrow, I would not be doing this right now. But I'll give it a shot. My shower gave me a second wind, so I will try to get my SmackDown review, and that way I can relax tomorrow during the day. Maybe watch the last of my Seinfeld episodes, and maybe start doing those reviews. We shall wait and see. But of course, we are getting towards it. Anyways. So first, let's check the live chat before we go anywhere. We got Tyler and we got Wario Otis in the live chat. Tyler gave the show a B-. Okay. Fire Horseface, as he wants Ronda fired so bad. Warrior Otis says, hello, what's up? Get Pat off the SmackDown commentary table. You don't like Pat, Tyler? I love Pat. Saying a bunch of random stuff. I'm still playing Nickelodeon's Globs of Doom. Nice. He wants Charlotte back. Hope Drew wins at Clash at the Castle. Me too. And, Warrior Otis is saying some stuff in the live chat too. But thank you guys both for joining me live late this evening. Before we get started, let me address some quick news that I'm sure you guys want me to give my brief thoughts on, before we get into the actual review. We're not going to really be up here too long. But let me talk about briefly the news that was, reported, I think it was yesterday? Or Wednesday, one of the two. There's heavy rumors that seem true. Because even on Wikipedia, even though Wikipedia is not always correct sometimes, they're saying that this person has re-signed with WWE. But apparently, this coming Monday on Raw, Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men, will be returning to Monday Night Raw, it sounds like. He signed a new deal after he was released in June of 2021, which I was still very shocked when they released him. Apparently they thought he looked in great shape. I guess they've been trying to bring him back. I've heard rumors that they're also trying to bring back Bronson Reed, who was in NXT, and just dropped the North American title when he out of the blue got released last year also. I was definitely surprised he got released. Not as much as Braun, though. And of course, there's still rumors of Bray Wyatt coming back, which I feel like we may know for sure this weekend where Bray Wyatt's going to. There's rumors he could be appearing at Clash at the Castle. There's also speculation he may be appearing at All Out, too. We'll have to wait and see. But Braun seems like a pretty done deal. And then, of course, again, Bronson Reed has been rumored as well. I would like to see Bronson Reed come back. Again, I feel like he was starting to gain his direction, I felt, whenever he was North American champion. And right before they released him. I thought that he was actually starting to get into his direction. Why they chose to release him due to budget cuts? No clue. But, it is what it is. I heard he's done really well in New Japan as Jonah. So I'm not sure how long his deal was with them. But I'm hearing WWE's trying to negotiate to bring him back. Braun Strowman, though. I was definitely a little surprised because I know him and EC3 have started up that Control Your Narrative promotion, which I'm hearing sucks. So I'm not, because apparently also Karrion Kross was supposed to be part of that also, but of course he chose to come back. Braun Strowman, though, with how involved he was, I'm definitely surprised a little bit more that he's coming back. I was also very surprised that he was released. As far as him coming back, though, I'm looking forward to seeing him again. I'm not as excited for him to come back as I was for like Karrion Kross, Hit Row, Johnny Gargano. Like, I'm more so like let's see what happens with Braun. Because here's my thing about Braun. First off, I feel bad for the guy. Because I felt like the way WWE booked him, especially after he got very hot in 2017. Like, 2017 was his year. They should have put the world title on him in 2017. He should have dethroned Brock at No Mercy. That match still disappoints me to this day. And heck, all their matches they had were not really that good at all. Especially that one, the 2018 Crown Jewel match. Oh gosh, it was... Braun Strowman basically got the main event spot when they needed him to be in that spot. If they didn't need him, they just booked him like crap. And unfortunately, he took a huge hit. To me personally, I would say Braun took the hit the biggest whenever he was Nicholas's tag team partner at WrestleMania. When he picked Nicholas to be his tag team partner, I think that's where he really took his hit. Because after that, he literally was just there. He was literally, being put with the Money in the Bank spot to, to basically keep eyes on Roman and the Roman and Brock Lesnar feud in 2018. Again, like I said, they didn't want to make him world champion. They didn't want to make him be a main eventer. But the moment they needed him to be, then they did it. Such as in 2020, whenever Roman chose to not do his WrestleMania match with Goldberg, and instead they threw Braun in there, and he just had a very forgettable title reign. Unfortunately, he did not deserve that. Unfortunately, but that was the case. If they needed like a big pop, something cool to happen, they just threw Braun in there, and after a while, it's like we caught on. So to me, I felt bad for the guy because I feel like again he was just booked when WWE needed him in a certain position. When they didn't need him, they didn't care. And the fact that he got released, I still was surprised because he was a go-to guy. He was just in a world title feud too when he got released because he was in that triple threat match at, I think it was Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash. Him, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre in that triple threat, which was a solid triple threat match. I remember that. But then he got released. And I was surprised, like I said, because he was one of their go-to guys. That happened. He just got done with that horrible feud with Shane McMahon. The steel cage match was good, but the build to that match for WrestleMania 37, oh God, was that horrible. Braun, you're just plain stupid. Like, that was really the best you got to put heat on Shane McMahon, calling Braun Strowman stupid. It was, oh God, horrible stuff. The reason why I'm like not quite as excited is, for starters, I'm not gonna lie, Braun has posted some tweets over the past couple years that's kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Whether he was kind of like, like dissing on like, people who don't, like WWE or whatnot, or basically tweets, like, it's the recent one he posted also, he said how Control Your Narrative is so much better than AEW, and basically if you think differently, you're trash, or heck it was. Basically, tweets that make him look like a suck-up. And, I don't know, like I said, it's just, I feel like people just got old, just got burned out from him. I feel like, okay, cool, he could do this, but, we waited long enough for him to get it. Could this work out? Maybe. Will it work out? I don't know. my first biggest thing is the two things I would do with Braun Strowman when he comes back. Because I feel like he needs to get over with the crowd again. He needs that respect back. He needs, that momentum that he had in 2017. When he literally just tossed Roman Reigns out of an ambulance and told him he's not finished with him. The birth of that line. The two things I would do with Braun Strowman. First, when they bring him back, get rid of the stupid, train in his Tron. Get rid of that whole, train theme to his character. Just get rid of that entirely. I want the monster among men. I don't want the choo-choo train among men. I want him to be a monster again. And a dominating monster, too. Not just some... Who knows what the heck he was his last year or so in the company. But it was not good at all whatsoever. It was not. It was horrible. And the other thing, too, I think you need to bring him back as a heel. Which is why I was saying before, I think he needs to win the crowd back. So I think the best thing to do is to bring him back as a heel, in my opinion. That's just what I think. I think that might be the better way to go to help Braun get back. Make him a heel, get him over again, give him a serious push again, make him the new Brock Lesnar. Make him the new big man that is tough to beat, the monster he once was. Like, you were able to hit the reset button and build Kevin Owens up very strong in a few weeks. They could maybe do the same thing with Braun Strowman. I know some people thought, his promos were getting awful towards the end. I think at times Braun Strowman could cut great promos. He just couldn't be scripted. Just let him be a monster. Don't make him, soft. Let him be dominating. Don't make him the world's biggest teddy bear. Or as Robbie One Kenobi called him when we did our 2018 Wrestling Awards video, don't make him the freaking babysitter among men. And of course, definitely don't make him the choo-choo train among men either. Make him a freaking monster again. But even though I'm like, cool, but whatever, with him coming back, I'm willing to give him another chance. And see how he does this time. He's got to, though, watch himself on Twitter. Like I say, he has posted a couple of tweets on Twitter that's rubbed me the wrong way. So, I'm open to giving him another shot. We'll see what happens. That's my thoughts on the rumors about Braun Strowman coming back. Well, it seems like Braun, it seems pretty official. Even Twitter is saying, not Twitter, even Wikipedia is saying he's coming back. I've heard rumors that he may come back and take out Omos. Fine by me, to be honest. I'd rather have Braun Strowman than Omos. Omos ain't it. Strowman can be it. Omos isn't, though. Alright, let's roll in and talk about SmackDown, though. There's not too much to really say about it. We opened up the show with, there was the ring was decorated with a deck on a longboat for the Viking rules match with the New Day and the Viking Raiders. It was basically kind of like an Extreme Rules Falls Count Anywhere match. It was solid. Again, I just wasn't really that into this feud. I like how, they've, repackaged the Viking Raiders, turned them heel, kind of having them dominating again. Because before, whenever they were faces on the main roster, they just felt like another version of the Ascension. They really did. They were big men who, obviously could wrestle, but they were just they had just terrible characters. And again, it's just a shame that a name change wore them down. And of course, a name change has worn down a few other wrestlers, but some of them are getting back on track. The Viking Raiders do win, though, so we'll see where it goes from there. So, they win the Viking rules match. And then throughout the night, of course, we got several of video packages covering Roman Reigns' 2-year title reign as he won the title back on August 30th, 2020 at Payback. And, of course, he hasn't lost it since. And, of course, all the title defenses he's gotten, all the great matches he's had as champion, it was all, done for. Well, not done for. It was all, excellent. Too bad I'm still predicting it to be ending tomorrow, but we will see, of course. Of course, we do have a few backstage segments with Sami Zayn, who's getting ready to be the master of ceremonies for this 2-year celebration. Sami was wearing a smoking jacket and had his hair up. Please get a haircut, Sami. Sami, please get a haircut. The Usos roll up and point out that he's wearing tribal print, to which they're unimpressed. He talks up his prep work for Roman's celebration. Jay gives him the third degree about his refusal to attack Kevin Owens on Monday, and Jimmy tries to give him the lighten up, and Jay storms off, and Jimmy goes after him. We also have a segment where Shayna Baszler basically says she's going to tear Liv's rims up at Clash of the Castle. But then Liv rolls up and says, no, I'll rip your arm off, basically. And basically trying to come across as intimidating and whatnot, but, you know. Still picking Shayna to win that match tomorrow. Karrion Kross then squashed Drew Gulak in his return match, as we expected to. He won with the cross jacket and just, again, looked on what he did in NXT. Then we got Ronda Rousey coming out. Striding to the ring with a piece of paper in hand, saying how there's an official statement from WWE Global Headquarters regarding her suspension. And she wants Adam Pearce to come out and read it, as she's giving Adam Pearce a hard time. He goes down and says no matter what that says, it's never been personal, and there are protocols, and he was just doing his job. And then Ronda calls him spineless, and he opens up and reads the letter silently, and then she's like, no, why don't you read this out loud? And of course, the letter stated that Ronda has engaged in unprofessional behavior, but however, it does not rise to the level of criminal, and her arrest 2 weeks ago was unwarranted. She paid her fines in full, and as of today, her suspension has been lifted, and she can resume in-ring competition. Pearce says it's absurd, and he had a duty to call the police, and if it were up to him, he would have just fired her, which Tyler would have loved that, of course. And she says she's hypothetically devastated and tells him to kiss her ass. And then, of course, he finally just snaps and says, "You think this is funny? 52 weeks a year, 2 shows, 2 networks. He has to babysit people like her and is never once thanked or asked how the day goes. And all he gets from the people like her is grief. He's proud of his job, but he's not proud of busting his ass for people who undermine him. And he's got a problem with Ronda walking around like she owns the place. And he calls her the single biggest bitch he's ever met, but then realizes he should have done that. He goes to apologize, but she doesn't care. She drops him and puts him in the armbar. And the crowd cheered for it too. It's so funny. The crowd is cheering for Ronda, and Ronda's like over like a baby face. You know, she's supposed to be a heel. So who knows what this leads to. I've heard rumors though that Ronda did not make it over to Cardiff, so I guess she won't be there tomorrow. But I'm still picking Shayna to win. Like I said, I like Liv. They backed themselves to a corner though with this title run. They gotta take the title off of her and start from scratch with her again. So yes. So we had Ronda Rousey take out Adam Pearce. Sami Zayn's still backstage when he receives a bouquet of black roses, and it simply says in the card TikTok, obviously showing that they're from Karrion Kross. Maybe Karrion Kross will interfere in the match on tomorrow. Who knows? Hit Row then made quick work of the Maximum Male Models in their first in-ring match as a group. Masse and Mansois, whatever their name is. Afterwards, though, Los Lotharios, who've been trying to get into Maximum Male Models, come out and a 4-on-2 beatdown on Hit Row, and then the Street Profits make the save. Why Street Profits still appear on SmackDown? Don't know why. Then Happy Corbin was interviewed backstage. They're starting to show signs of him going to being bum-ass Corbin again, as of course Pat McAfee calls him. He doesn't want to talk about his recent, slump, and he knows he's the best man in the locker room, so he's going to go issue an open challenge. He goes out, and Shinsuke Nakamura answers it, but Shinsuke makes quick work of him and wins the Kinshasa. And then Afterwards, we see Corbin leaving, again, teasing signs of bum-ass Corbin, when a limo with horns pulls up, and then the window goes down, we hear JBL in there saying, "What happened?" And he told Corbin to get in. So, are they teasing a new direction with Corbin and JBL? Which it's like, okay, cheap heat heel and cheap heat heel? We'll see where that goes. There could be another repackaging. Hopefully, he'll be Baron Corbin again and not Happy Corbin. I hate Happy Corbin, as I keep saying. We got a recap of Raquel Gonzalez and Aaliyah winning the tag titles. We then have Butch. Yes, come out with a theme song on Tron that says Butch. His name is still Butch, but he was dressed like Pete Dunne. His hair was down. He wore Pete Dunne's old ring gear. He looked like Pete Dunne on the main roster. He took on Ludwig Kaiser. I'm hoping this is a sign that they're going to be bringing him back as Pete Dunne. Like I said, they can have the story where he splits from the Brawling Brutes and, becomes Pete Dunne again and hates being called Butch, which I'm hoping is the case, of course, at some point. But, the look was back, and I thought he looked pretty good in this match. It was pretty solid, I thought, too. He wins with the bitter end. But afterwards, though, Gunther and Sheamus square up in the ring, but Ludwig Kaiser tries to back his man off. And, of course, we're just getting a tease when those two will collide tomorrow in a very excellent, hard-hitting match for sure. Then we have Sami Zayn backstage again with the Usos saying everything's good and they want to make their entrance, but Sami also wants to wait for Roman. But then Jay accuses him of overstepping his boundaries and says he ain't blood yet. Jimmy wants to go out there and put the spotlight on the Big Uso, and that's good enough for everybody. So they go out. Sami says that they are here to celebrate 2 years of Roman Reigns as champion, and he checks in with Jimmy to make sure he's okay to take lead on this. Jimmy says he's down with it, and Sami says he won't want anyone to accuse him of being too comfortable, and then he looks over at Jay, but then Jay interrupts and takes over, saying Roman has dominated everyone for 2 years. Superman punch, spear, guillotine, they've all been flat out beat. And Sami tries to play hype man, and Jimmy has to tell him to calm down. Jay wants everybody to stand up and put their ones in the sky and introduce the head of the table, the tribal chief, the needle mover, God Mode himself, the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. So we see a shot of Roman pulling up in an SUV, and he gets out, but as he gets out, he's blindsided by a Claymore kick by Drew McIntyre. And then Drew then walks away, comes out, and attacks the Usos and Sami Zayn, lays them all out. He Claymores Sami with a chair in his hand. He slams, I think it was Jay through a table, and then Jimmy got speared through the barricade. I'm sorry. Jimmy got put through the table, and Jay got speared through the barricade. He tears up the photos in the ring of Roman's title reign, and he says, tells Roman to look around him, how the bloodline is torn apart and God Mode has been deactivated. So tomorrow, he's going to kick Roman's head off and dethrone him as champion, ending his 734-day title reign. Will that happen, though? We'll have to wait and see. But that was all SmackDown was. Again, it was a decent tape show. Again, tape shows aren't usually that spectacular, but, it was what it was. I liked how, they're kind of teasing a different direction for Baron Corbin. We'll see what happens with him and JBL. I like how, even though he's still Butch, they had him come out in his Pete Dunne look. So they're teasing him becoming Pete Dunne again, which I hope so. So he looked excellent in this match tonight. Not like just a chump they made him into whenever they first brought him up and renamed him Butch. That was dreadful. Other than that, everything else just was what it was. We'll see where it goes. I gave the show a C+. C+ for SmackDown. Got through it, decently and didn't get too tired. All we got left is Tyler saying that he'll be happy that Big Boy Braun comes back on Monday. He's also hoping Mickie James comes back as well. I heard her announce that it was going to be her last rodeo, so she could be on her retirement tour, basically, in Impact, so she may not be coming back, but we'll see. Of course, you never know. Get rid of the women's tag titles, I agree. I would have JBL on SmackDown commentary table. Ugh, I'm not the biggest fan of that. Him going, ball game, every time a win happens. But if you want Tyler, that's cool, though, my friend. And split the world and tag titles. We will be getting to that, I feel, shortly. But yep, that does it. That's my SmackDown review. So I get to, kind of just relax before I go watch Clash of the Castle with some friends tomorrow. Of course, I have other plans this weekend, so I most likely will not be reviewing Clash of the Castle or All Out until early next week. But of course, I will catch up on those. And of course, we will do Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown next week. And of course, tomorrow, and tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to start watching the last disc of Seinfeld. So maybe get some Seinfeld reviews in. Could get all that stuff caught up in the next week or so. But besides wrestling, my other plans right now, currently, is the Seinfeld reviews. I have one more part of my Harry Potter Let's Play to do. After that, it's going to be a risk. Well, I don't feel like it really should be. I'm going to try to redo the one map from SS Wolf 3D that got my channel taken down. And again, it was not the game. It was something I said in the commentary. So, I'm going to try again, see what happens, and go from there. So we'll see where it goes, where the channel goes after that. As there's definitely still other ideas I have, other games I might want to play. As far as sitcom reviews, may take a break from them. But I may just take a breather in general just to, sit back and just do some things without turning them into a YouTube project. Because I still need a little bit of a breather. But I still not, not going to be not doing some reviews for a bit, but just may need a breather from the extra projects I do on this channel. But we'll see what happens when we get there indeed. So guys, that's my thoughts on SmackDown, and again my thoughts on Braun Strowman, heavily rumored to be returning to WWE this Monday on Raw. So what are your guys' thoughts on all of that? Braun Strowman coming back, Bronson Reed possibly coming back, Bray Wyatt, SmackDown, Clash of the Castle. What are your guys' thoughts? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirBoy93. Until then guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out everybody.